Most of us grow up believing that routine health checkups are always a smart choice, that more tests mean more protection, more peace of mind, and more years to live. But what if I told you that after a certain age, some of those very tests could quietly and unexpectedly do more harm than good? I know it sounds counterintuitive, maybe even a little unsettling. After all, isn't prevention always better than cure? But here's the truth that many seniors never hear. Some of the most common medical screenings offered to older adults, tests recommended in checklists and waiting rooms across the world, can lead to false alarms, unnecessary stress, and in some cases, life-altering complications. That's not speculation. It's a growing concern among leading doctors and aging specialists who are rethinking what healthcare really means after 70, because medicine is changing, and the old mindset that more tests automatically mean better care is being replaced by something wiser. One-size-fits-all testing doesn't account for the changes our bodies go through with age. In fact, after a certain point, that well-meaning checkup might be the very thing that puts your health, independence, or dignity at risk. In this video, we're going to take a clear-eyed, compassionate look at 5 medical tests that seniors over 70 are often better off avoiding. Tests that even experienced doctors often skip for themselves. We'll uncover why these tests are so commonly recommended, the hidden dangers they carry, and the safer, more age-appropriate alternatives that let you stay informed without being overtreated or overwhelmed. If you care deeply about your health, but you also believe that growing older should come with more choice, more clarity, and more respect for your body, this video was made for you, because this isn't about fear. It's about freedom. The freedom to ask better questions. The freedom to say no to what doesn't serve you. And the freedom to age with wisdom, not worry. Let's get started. Number 1, the colonoscopy trap, when prevention becomes a problem. For decades, colonoscopy has been hailed as the gold standard for catching colon cancer early. And for many people in their 50s and 60s, it absolutely can be life-saving. But after the age of 70, especially if you have no symptoms or family history, the story begins to change. You see, what was once a helpful screening tool can quietly become something far more dangerous than most seniors are ever warned about. The procedure is anything but simple. It starts with full bowel cleanse, a taxing process that drains the body and can trigger severe dehydration. Then comes a sedation, followed by a long scope inserted deep into your intestines. That's already a lot for a healthy 40-year-old. For someone in their 70s or 80s, it can tip the body into real trouble. Older adults are more vulnerable to every step of the process. The bowel prep can throw off electrolytes. The sedation lingers longer in aging systems, slowing reflexes, clouding memory, and increasing the risk of falls. But the real danger often comes after procedure. Many seniors are led down a path of follow-up tests and invasive surgeries for polyps, tiny growths that are usually harmless and extremely slow to grow. In fact, these polyps often take 10 to 15 years to become cancerous, if they ever do. And for someone already in their late 70s or beyond, those years may never even come into play. Yet the fear of cancer triggers a cascade. A small polyp becomes biopsy. That becomes a second scope. That becomes a partial bowel removal. And just like that, a well-intentioned test turns into months of stress, side effects, and surgeries that may have been completely unnecessary. Let me tell you about George. George was 82 years old. He was active, alert, and still walked his dog every morning. No digestive issues, no red flags. But during a routine checkup, he was told it might be a good idea to get one last colonoscopy just in case. He agreed. During the bowel prep, George became badly dehydrated. After the procedure, the sedation left him foggy and confused. That very night, while trying to make it to the bathroom, he fell hard and fractured his hip. What followed was months of rehab, medical bills, and emotional strain. And the worst part? The scope didn't find anything concerning. Now, this isn't to blame his doctor. Many physicians are still trained to follow old guidelines. But medicine is evolving, and we have to evolve with it. If you're over 70, feeling well, and have no concerning symptoms, it is absolutely reasonable, sometimes even wise, to skip that routine colonoscopy. Your body has changed, and so should the care you receive. The good news? Today there are safer, non-invasive stool tests that screen for colon cancer with excellent accuracy. Tests that don't require sedation, surgery, or days of recovery. They give you information without putting your health at risk. So let's be clear, less testing doesn't mean less care. It means smarter, safer care that respects your age, your body, and your future. Number 2, the full body scan mistake, when just to be safe becomes a risk. The idea of a full body scan sounds smart, even comforting. Let a machine look through your entire body, catch every hidden danger, and give you peace of mind. Who wouldn't want that, right? But here's the truth that rarely gets said out loud. After age 70, full body scans can do far more harm than good. CTs and MRIs are incredibly sensitive. They don't just detect real problems. They detect everything. Tiny shadows, harmless nodules, benign cysts. Things that would never cause symptoms, never shorten your life, and never need treatment. But once something shows up on the screen, even if it's meaningless, it gets a label, incidental finding. And suddenly, that harmless that becomes a spark of fear. You're referred to specialists, booked for additional tests. Biopsies get scheduled. Sometimes even surgeries follow, all chasing a problem that likely would have remained completely silent for the rest of your life. And for seniors, those follow-ups carry weight. A simple biopsy can lead to infection or bleeding. Lying still for an MRI can strain joints and muscles that are already fragile. An emotional toll? Hearing the words, "we found something," even if it's nothing serious, can keep you up at night, spike your blood pressure, and fill your life with anxiety. Let me tell you about Betty. Betty was 78, sharp-minded and full of energy. She walked every day, played with her grandkids, cooked Sunday dinners. At a health fair, a mobile clinic offered her a discounted full-body scan. It seemed like a responsible choice. The scan found a tiny lesion on her kidney, probably benign, but the word lesion triggered panic. Within weeks, she had surgery to remove it. The result? Months of fatigue, slow healing. Her vitality slipped away. Her spark faded. And the kicker? That lesion likely never would have harmed her in the first place. That's not prevention. That's overdiagnosis. These high-tech scans rarely lead to peace of mind. More often, they lead to a cascade of unnecessary medical interventions, and in many cases, they're not even covered by insurance. Seniors end up paying hundreds or even thousands of dollars out of pocket. Not for clarity, but for confusion. Not for safety, but for fear. So what's a better path? After 70, true health isn't about finding everything. It's about focusing on what truly matters. It's about tuning into your body, your energy, your symptoms. If you're sleeping well, walking steadily, eating comfortably, that's information too. That's your body saying, "I'm doing okay." Scans can't measure peace of mind. Machines can't tell you how it feels to dance with your grandchild or laugh over coffee. But you can, and that wisdom matters. So remember this. If you're feeling well, live well. Don't let curiosity become a trap. Don't let fear become your doctor. Sometimes the healthiest choice is to simply trust how you feel. Number 3, the overused cardiac stress test. For decades, treadmill stress tests have been a go-to for heart screening. But after age 70, this test can lead to more problems than it prevents. Older bodies have natural changes, stiffer arteries, shifting rhythms, and slower recovery. These aren't always signs of heart disease, but stress tests flag them as problems. That triggers a chain reaction. Cardiologist visits, angiograms, maybe even stent surgery, all with real risks, especially in seniors. George, 74, had no symptoms, just a routine stress test to be safe. The results were borderline. He was sent for angioplasty, which led to a serious infection. 6 months of rehab, a drop in independence he never fully regained. That treadmill started it all. Today, top heart experts agree. If you have no symptoms, no chest pain, breathlessness, or fatigue, skip the stress test. It doesn't reduce heart attacks or extend life for most seniors. Instead, focus on what actually supports your heart. Daily walks, good food, staying connected. That's real heart care. Wisdom is knowing when to say no. Number 4, the hidden risks of repeat colonoscopies. Many older adults are told, just one more colonoscopy to be safe. But the truth? If you had clean results in the past and have no symptoms, another scope past 70 can be dangerous. It starts with sedation. Older livers and brains don't process sedatives well. Confusion and memory loss are common side effects, sometimes lasting weeks or months. Then there's the bowel prep. For seniors, those strong laxatives can cause dehydration, electrolyte loss, even falls in the middle of a night. The benefit of the test? It's based on detecting slow-growing polyps that take over a decade to become dangerous. But if you're in your late 70s or 80s, those years may never matter. Meanwhile, the risks of complications, bleeding, colon perforation, go up. Eileen, 78, had a clean scope at 68, then again at 73. At 78, her doctor said, one more. During the procedure, her colon was perforated. Emergency surgery. A month in the hospital. She survived, but her energy never came back. We have to stop thinking that what worked at 50 still works at 75. Prevention should never come at the cost of quality of life. Number 5, cardiac stress tests again. Let's talk about heart tests again, because this one is repeated far too often. We've been trained to fear sudden heart failure, and stress tests seem like a way to get peace of mind. But in seniors, especially symptom-free ones, these tests can do more harm than good. Take Harold, 76. No chest pain, active and happy. A routine stress test showed a minor abnormality. He ended up with a stent he didn't need, then internal bleeding from blood thinners, hospital stays, a long recovery, all triggered by a test that never should have been done. Doctors act from fear. What if we miss something? But after 70, we must shift focus from detection to living well. You don't need to chase every possible problem. You need to protect your time, your clarity, your dignity. Final thoughts. Getting older doesn't mean losing control. In fact, it's when you finally get to ask, do I really need this? In a world that tells you more tests mean more safety, sometimes the strongest choice is doing less, not from neglect, but from wisdom. Healthcare at this stage of life should be personal, thoughtful, rooted in your goals, not hospital protocols. Blind testing for the sake of routine can steal energy, independence, and even years. Not because anyone means harm, but because they're following systems built for younger bodies. So if this video made you pause, made you think, then it's already done its job. Saying no doesn't mean you're ignoring your health. It means you're choosing wisely. Talk to your doctor. Ask, will this test change my life or just change my chart? Protect your time, your peace, your choices. You've earned that right.